Yo, what's up epic gamers, my name is Fox and welcome to another video of mine. I know it's been a while, but with 5.4 coming up, I decided, it's time for another video. This video is gonna be a bit different. It will be covering Party Finder stuff, basically, since I have been doing Party Finder for years now, and I've helped a lot of people clear, and I see a lot of really bad Party Finder, or I see people that don't really act the way they should in Party Finder. I figured, why not make a video about explaining basically the basics of Party Finder and the etiquettes you should follow when joining or making a Party Finder, right? Because like I said, there's a lot of things that I see being done wrong, and I really think they can be easily fixed by just maybe putting out some information and having the people that put up those party finders wrongly read that information to help them get clears or farm parties or whatever it will be that they want to do in Party Finder. So without further ado, let's then talk about Party Finder stuff. Right, the first thing that is important obviously is to put up Party Finder with a proper description, right? So to show you, it is very important that you choose the right tags, basically what you want to go for. There is, for example, let's go to high-end duties now. Let's talk about refulgence. There are different tags here that you can choose. Objective, for example, loot, practice complete, duty completion. What is the difference, right? Loot is basically if you have already cleared and you just want to have a re-clear, or for farm parties, for like primals, this is what the loot tag is used for. If you go for practice, obviously you choose a practice tag, right? Very simple. And duty completion is used for clearing a fight. So you have not yet cleared the fight and you then want to go for a clear. Now the thing is, loot and duty completion can go hand in hand. For example, now at 5.4 we will have restriction on the weekly lockout again, but you still want to basically get a loot. I still would suggest putting up the duty completion with that to say, yo, we are going for clear here, we want to kill this fight, and you just put into your description basically 2 chests, right? Which is the universal. We want everyone to have still the 2 chests available for our clear party. I will go more into depth about that later. Then you have obviously recruiting to world server. I would never do this because it will just hurt your chances. Then we have form a private party. Don't do this unless you know why you do this. Completion status. This is really important. Duty complete means that the people that join your Party Finder have already cleared the duty you are queuing for. If I tag duty complete, no one can join my Party Finder unless they have cleared Eden vs. Refulgent Savage. Duty incomplete though does the opposite. If you choose duty incomplete, it means no one can join that has cleared this party, this turn basically. And this is something a lot of people actually do wrong. I've seen this a lot where people say helper party, clear parties, helpers welcome, and then the tag is duty incomplete. If I have cleared Eden's vs. Refulgent Savage and someone puts up a Party Finder with duty incomplete, I cannot join because it only lets people join that have not cleared before. I'm not sure why this tag works like that, but it's better to leave it off completely, especially if you don't mind about the 2 chests on Savage, for example, or if you want helpers for a primal farm. Do not tag the duty incomplete tag because people that have cleared will not be able to join your party. So yeah, really be careful. I would only use it if you want only people that have the clear to join and put it on duty complete. Otherwise, I would just turn it off. Coming to average item level, this is also something I see a lot very questionable. So basically every fight is clearable at min item level. Yes, it is harder. Yes, it will require your damage deals to do actual damage. But putting the average item level too high will not let people join that might want to help out on an alt job. I had this happen to myself quite a lot where I, for example, go into Party Finder as tank or as healer or as just not my main job and I don't have as much gear. And then there's the item level is limited to 490 in, I don't know, week 8 and I just have no gear on other jobs. So I cannot join. This potentially locks out people from your Party Finder that just want to help or that want to try out a different job. Obviously not in a way of griefing. I'm not going to go into a party on a completely new job I have never played. I'm talking about just, for example, I'm a range main and let's say 2 ranged are in a party. I want to join on melee, but I can't because the average item level is too high. So I would really suggest you do not put this average item level too high because it also gives some form of trap party vibes. If you put the average item level very high, people assume you need to be carried because you can't push the damage by yourself. I've had this a lot of times. I've been told this a lot of times by other people where just while streaming I see someone with a really high level and everyone check it, I was like, oh, they want the carry. So really be careful about where you put the average item level. I would only put it at the minimum myself, because I want people to at least have the minimum gear, which is crafted gear basically, right? So next tier, crafted gear will be 510 as far as I remember, and I wouldn't put it above 510 or maybe 512, 13, something like that. Even later on into the tier, putting it very high will just lock out people that want to join and help on a different job. Unless you're going for a lock run party, a FF lock run party, you want to put it very high so everyone has good gear, but otherwise this is not suggested at all. Then obviously this is something that you only use when you go with your pre-made party most of the time. Loot rules, obviously always normal. Do not do loot master, do not join loot master parties, it's a scam. Please do not join loot master parties. Language, I would suggest you take all, because even people that play in French or in German can often speak English, so you should be fine. This goes mostly for European data center, obviously, but I would just leave everything on. Then, how to set up properly here. Remove wall restrictions for RAM. This is something that you can do. Unselect class is the same. And one player per job is something that's, I see it very common, which is fine, because what does it do if you have two of the same job? It will have less LB generation. I think it is acceptable to say, I want to have no dupes. I think that's fine. I think there's nothing wrong with it. I do think, though, it is not needed to clear. Most of the fights are you can allow to have dupes, especially, for example, if it's now double samurai, they will still do lots of damage, right? It's not that it will hurt your party in a way. I do believe you can choose for yourself if you want this or not. It's not a huge issue. I cleared a lot of parties with double ranged, double bar, whatever. I cleared a lot of parties with that, and it's not a huge deal. Now, one thing, now after we talked about the party fund description, now I want to mention something that is really, really, really important, and that apparently not many people know. With Shadowbringers, Square Enix changed something with the party buffs, right? If you go to your party list, you will see here party bonus. Party bonus is basically you get 1% more main stat per tank, per healer, per caster, per melee, and per ranged. Back in Stormblood, this was 2 melees. You needed to have 2 melees, 1 caster and 1 ranged. But they changed that. You now need 1 of each category. Like I said before, 1 caster, 1 ranged, 1 melee. I see so many parties locking for double melee. Please don't do that. You do not need 2 melees to clear a fight at all. This has never been needed. World First Shiva was done with 2 casters. Just to give you an idea. But please stop locking to double melees. Like, I really beg you. If you know someone that locks to double melee, please stop them to do that, because it is absolutely not needed. You get, again, the 1% per caster, ranged and melee. So you want 1 of each. You don't want double ranged and double melee, or double caster, double melee. You want 1 of each for the maximum of that main stat party bonus, basically. I hope that's gonna be not a problem anymore next year, but I doubt it. Right, let's go over some few basic stuff that you should respect in Party Finder. So basically, basic etiquette. Number 1, please do not leave after 1 or 2 pulls. Just don't. Like, maybe someone has been waiting for like an hour and a half or 2 hours, and if you drop after 2 pulls just because you think the party will not get to where you want, it might have just been that 2 people just warmed up on the first 2 pulls. I've had this so many times that people just literally leave after 1 pull without saying anything, and it's so depressing, and they don't get anywhere. Even in clear parties, like I've done so many clear parties on Shiva this tier, and then people join and we wipe twice on Light Rampart. Okay, I'm leaving again. And I understand you're frustrated, you want to clear, but this is not how you're gonna get it clear. You get it clear by sticking with parties. I've got clears after sticking with parties for 6 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours, you name it. It takes a while. You need to have patience, and leaving after 1 or 2 pulls is just really, really not something you want to do. Alright, so just don't leave after 2 pulls, please. Then try to be adaptive in terms of positions. A lot of party finders have like R1 taken, M1 taken, whatever. You should be able to play R1 or R2 as a ranged. You should be able to play M1 or M2 as a ranged. You should be able to play main tank, off tank as a tank. This is super important. Please try to learn every position that covers your role, right? So if you're a ranged player, learn R1 and R2 position. This is mostly also European talk right now because I know when NA doesn't use macros, but it applies like basically bottom left, bottom right. You know, try to learn how to play both roles, because I've had party finders where someone joins and then they claim R1, but the other guy says, oh, I had R1, and then the other person, okay, I have to leave then because I can't play R2. And that's like really questionable, because it's literally just a different position. It's the same fight, the same mechanics. So please try to learn the different positions for your role or your job. Another thing I notice a lot is that people don't talk about the mistakes that cost a wipe. I've seen tanks just insta-pull. I've seen tanks just like, literally just the countdown, we wipe, countdown 20 seconds, let's go again. No. How about we just chill for like 10-20 seconds? Well, how about we even talk about what cost a wipe if we wiped? And also, please respect your astrologian in your party if you have one. They need at least 30 seconds to draw a card. Tanks at insta-pull clearly do not know how astrologian works. So please, if you're a tank and you're doing the countdown, please just wait a little bit in between pulls. I'm not talking about a whole minute, but I'm talking about like maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds, or ask if everyone's ready, do not already check, and then pull only after that. Please do not do insta pulls. It's really, really bad to do insta pulls in my opinion. Unless, of course, you're in a group and you're doing hardcore progression with them. That's a different story though. We're talking about party finder here. Now, another thing also, please also make sure you ask if you're unsure about a mechanic that happened. If something happened and you're not sure how to solve this mechanic, just ask the people you're with. There's no shame in admitting you don't know a mechanic, literally no shame. Everyone in the party will gladly help you, gladly explain to you if something is wrong, or they link you a video, they link you a guide, whatever there is. If you don't know what is going on, please ask. You are griefing the other 7 people if you go into a mechanic and you don't know how it works, right? Another 2 small things. Always have food with you. If you do not use food, you lose damage, you lose HP. It's not too expensive. If you can't afford food, then make sure you get some gil by doing hunts, by crafting, whatever it is, or run roulettes. But please just always have food with you. It's literally not expensive, and it's something that should be mandatory. Potions are a different story. Potions can be fine to not be used because you keep wiping and they're more expensive, they cost more. So I would really suggest using potions once you're going for a clear though. If you know this part you can clear, if you then rage or something, that's where you should be using potions. If you're not, again, you're kind of griefing your party, to be honest. Last note on this, make sure to understand the difference in between a clear party and a lock-on party. I've seen people going into clear parties and trying to greed, getting logs, and then wiping groups because they died, because they fucked up, whatever. Please, if you want to go for logs, make your lock one party, alright? Make sure you are on the same page as the other people that join your party. Don't go into a clear party and then keep wiping your group because you fucked up your opener, or your opener was bad, or you grieve because of this and that. Just please make sure you distinguish in between clear party and lock one party. That's really, really important. Then, this is more you specific though. Bring a macro. If you do not have a macro, just Google it. There's so many macros on Google nowadays, and once the new tier releases, it will take a few weeks for them to appear, maybe not even weeks, probably 1 or 2 weeks maximum. But please, you should bring a macro if you're the party maker, right? Unless you're on PS5 or PS4, I understand. Okay, it's a bit harder to bring a macro. There's a few barriers. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about user macros that have like spread positions in it, you know, that make it very easy. This is something very use specific or JP specific. Americans don't use this. If you're American, try to start using them. They're super comfortable. They're very helpful. They cost you like 2 minutes to set it up. In the party, everyone knows where they go. Everything is soft, and there's no awkwardly moving around and going to markers. And no. Oh yeah, markers. Also, you should bring markers, basically. Again, for you, language barrier is a thing. Try to always write in English or use the auto translate function. I've seen people just randomly speak German or French in my party chat, and I'm like, oh, are you assuming your co-healer is understanding your language? Because that's very selfish. You should really speak English, or at least know basic English, as in like, I heal this, I Izuna here. Or again, the auto-translate function is there because assuming someone speaks French, if your French is just rude at some point, to be honest. So try to at least know the basics. Then I'm going to get a bit more into job-specific etiquette. To give you an example, what I mean is that, for example, if you're a summoner or red mage, yes, you should race. God, please, if you play red mage and you don't race, like, please, it's one GCD. It's literally one GCD. You don't even need Swift cast. It's one GCD. Please just fucking race. I've seen so many red mage players not race. If you're in melee combo, okay, I understand. Finish your melee combo or let the healer then race. But please, if you're not in melee combo, just race if someone died. You literally help the healer so much. You save them MP. You save them the hassle of using their Swift cast, which they might have to use for a heal. Just race. Same goes for Summoner. What does the Summoner gain from using Swift cast? A Ruin 3 over a Ruin 2 probably. Please just race, right? Don't be that guy who doesn't race. Because this is so helpful to healers if you race. It's insane. It's insane. Coming to healers, please don't cuck your co-healer. Again, if you want to do lock ones, do lock one party. Please do not just DPS. Play it safe in Party Finder. You're not there for logs. You're not there to cuck your co-healer. Please be on the same page. Use your whole kit, but don't overheal, obviously, right? Coming to my favorite tank players, please care about the boss movement. I mean, when I play melee DPS, and this is why I go back to range, because tank players don't give a fuck about my positionals. They don't care about my uptime. And please just try to make it as easy as possible on me, the melee DPS. Well, now I'm range again because of that, but please, tanks, care about your melee DPS, please. And lastly, obviously, DPS players. My friends, my DPS players, try to push as much damage as possible. Please be prepared when you go into raid. Know your rotation. Know where you should hold cooldowns. Know where to use cooldowns. Know where to pot. You know, all that stuff. Please try to be aware of it. And most of all, don't get offended if someone offers you advice. Like, seriously, if someone notices something you're doing wrong and they want to tell you, let them tell you. Like, don't be that kind of guy who's like, oh, but I play my job properly. You're probably not if they can notice it. Or there's a lot of people that use ACT, right? ACT is very common. And if they notice that your damage is very, very, very low, like low as in griefing low, there's a reason and they will maybe talk to you about it. Don't report those people. They are just trying to help. They're just trying to make a party help clear, basically, right? If there's someone that's really, really underperforming, and I can see that, I'm not saying anything anymore because I don't want to get reported, but you're griefing your party. If you're not pushing damage as much as you can and you should, you are griefing. That's just how it is. It is more toxic to come into Party Finder and do damage that was relevant 2 tiers ago than the person that's saying to you you're doing damage that's relevant 2 tiers ago, right? Just putting it out there. Lastly, loot etiquette. This is something, oh boy. With 5.4, obviously, we'll have the 2 weekly chest restriction back in store, for Savage at least. Please don't be the guy who puts Monday night 2 chest memes up. Don't. Right, so what's worse than a weekly book? No book at all, obviously. Right, for those of you that don't know, Savage has a weekly lockout. You can get loot only every turn, once per week, basically. And you get a book if you clear them. After 8 weeks, obviously, you can use your books, then or 4 weeks, depending on the turn. And when I see on Mondays, when I see clear parties that require 2 chests, I'm molding. Because if you're going for clear, you should probably not require a chest anymore. You should just be happy to get the clear, because once you have that clear, you will then be able to next week join a weekly party. Clear parties are there to help clear. That's their objective. They're not for loot, they're there to clear. So if you're going for clear, don't be greedy. It's not worth it, because, for example, I can join your party if I cleared on Tuesday. If you're in a clear party, I would love to help you out clear something. I would jump into your party, be someone that does consistent damage, be someone that does consistent mechanics, help you get that clear so the week after you can join a farm party. You can join my farm party or my weekly party. But please, if you're doing a weekly a clear party, please do not require 2 chests. Especially not if it's weekend or later. This is my last point. If it's Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, you are better off trying to go for a weekly book than for loot. Because I want to basically, I'm giving you my view here because I want to play the video game, but I'm kind of limited by the weekly lockout. So I already have multiple characters for that. But I also like to join clear parties. I like to join parties that do not require any chests anymore. And if you are in a situation where it's Monday or Sunday, you have 2 days left, you are basically limiting yourself to all the people that haven't cleared yet. While if you say, yo, I don't require a chest, everyone can join. Everyone can help you to get that book really fast. Because again, what's worse than a weekly book? No book at all, right? So yeah. I think that's basically about it. I think I covered most things that I know about Party Finder, that I learned in Party Finder. And I would love for you guys to share this video with Party Finder people, Party Finder warriors, people that try to get their clears there, so that they are aware of all these things. Because I've seen these mistakes done so much, and some of them are really bad. Like, for example, the double melee lockout, not having the 1% because you rather want to have double range and double melee for whatever reason, or the whole thing on Monday evening, 2 chests clear party, that stuff. Summoners or red mages not raising, like all these things really, they come up quite often, they pop up really often, and I really would like it if people stop with those things and kind of are just on the same page as everyone else in that regard. But yeah, that was about it. Thank you a lot for watching the video. I hope you learned something today, and again, please share it with your friends that are Party Finder warriors, and let's hope for an amazing 5.4 rate. I really hope it will be good, and I wish you best of luck in your progression, no matter if it is hardcore, if it is in Party Finder, or if you're just gonna clear in 20 weeks. I don't mind. No matter what you do, good luck on that, and I'll see you guys hopefully on stream. You guys have a good one.